All right, old school NBA fans, self-researched NBA facts. Got another video for you. As always, thanks to anybody who watches my videos, subscribes to my channel. I really appreciate it. Want to send a special thanks to Adidas20. Thank you once again for the super thanks. I'm sorry I didn't include you in yesterday's video just because I'd already shot it, but I made sure to get you in this one here. So again, thank you very much for all your generosity, everything you've done for this channel. Much appreciated. So in this video here is basically the part B to yesterday's video about the 2017 Warriors. I think they've been overhyped, and a big reason for it, like I explained in there, is I just thought that they weren't really challenged enough. Part of it really isn't their fault, but to be calling them the GOAT team and all that, no, that's a bridge way too far for me. But I'm going to give you my top 5 all time. 6 through 10, I haven't really put a lot of thought into this. I didn't research it thoroughly, but just off the cuff, number 10, I'm going with the 1971 Milwaukee Bucks. Number 9, the 1987 Lakers. Number 8, the 1967 Philadelphia 76ers. Number 7, the 2017 Golden State Warriors. That just feels right to me. Number 6, the 1997 Chicago Bulls, which really weren't that far off from the 96 Bulls, but there was a gap there, I would say. Now we get into the top 5 all-time teams. So just so everyone is aware, I am not one of these people that just looks at the playoff run as that's a great season, that's a great team, an all-time great team. No, I look at the totality of the regular season and the playoffs. If teams today are treating the regular season like training camp or whatever, that's on them. They're never going to go down as an all-time great team. Now, I do see Oklahoma City and Cleveland are taking it serious, so I give them props for that. But this is a total season, not just a playoff run. I explained that yesterday. Just because you got one loss or 2 losses in a playoff run does not automatically move you up to the front of the line. The regular season is part of this. So at number 5...
A lot of credit, Mark. He is playing his heart out tonight.
Oh, Kobe Bryant with the rejection. 5 for 18 from the field on a night where the Sixers have needed, which is not common in the NBA Finals. Fisher off the steal. Iverson trying to draw the foul.
And, well, Phil Jackson's going to immediately go to Robert Horry, not happy with a couple turnovers, but...
Fisher and Bryant at the guards. Here's the drop step. Oh, beautiful move.
Hill, so there really is no pressure defense. That's why Phil went back to him.
O'Neal with the Hopkins position. O'Neal. Inside, nearly stripped. Shaq. Shaw for 3. And Bryant is now 6 for 13 from three-point land. Lou tees it up for 3. 7 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter. Aubrey. And Horry for 3.
The 2001 Los Angeles Lakers. They had a record of 56-26. They were the number 2 rated offense, the number 21 rated defense, the number 8 net rated team. Now, I understand that they had key injuries. Kobe missed 14 games. Shaq missed 8 games. Ron Harper missed 35 games. And I know you're thinking, well, he's just a reserve. What's the big deal there? But it was. Because also Derek Fisher missed 62 games. So Ron Harper got hurt in February and basically missed the rest of the season and most of the playoffs. He did come back and played a little bit. But there was a month there they didn't have Harper or Fisher. So they were going through it without a point guard, basically. I mean, I guess they had like Brian Shaw and Tyronn Lue and players like that. But there was a gap of time there. And I think Derek Fisher's absence was more meaningful than people think. I think he was a good defensive point guard. Not great, but solid. He was good enough that in the playoffs, he was getting about, 13.5 points a game. And he was shooting over 50% from 3. So I think Fisher was a little more valuable than, some people give him credit for. So in the first round, they played the Portland Trailblazers. And I've heard people like Scap Attack, Dreamers Pro the real pro Kobe crowd really talk about this. Portland was a 50-32 team. They swept them in 3 games, the Lakers. They were the 5th net rated team. So, that's a pretty tough first round matchup, no doubt about it. Now, it shouldn't have been difficult for the Lakers, but yeah, it is a tougher than normal first round matchup, no question. And then in the next round, the semifinals, they beat Sacramento, who was 55-27. They swept Sacramento. They were the 2nd net rated team. And typically when I see a team finish in the top 5, but the win total doesn't really match the net rating, it just shows me that either they lost a lot of close games or they didn't know how to close close games, one or the other. Then we move to the conference finals against San Antonio. San Antonio was 58-24. The Lakers swept them too, and they were the number 1 net rated team in the NBA. In the finals, they beat Philly, who was 56-26 in 5 games. They were the 4th net rated team. So that means they beat the number 1, the number 2, the number 4, and the number 5. 4 of the top 5 net rated teams. That's a very good, strong playoff run. But again, the reason why this run isn't going to be legendary like, say, the Rockets or whatever, is because they were better than Portland. They were better than Sacramento. They were better than Philly. And really, they were better than San Antonio. The record didn't indicate it. But unfortunately, this is part of it, that the Lakers' regular season was a little derailed by injuries. Again, not really their fault. They're just hard to gauge. What would they have done had everybody been healthy and been in there the whole year? Impossible to say for sure. But still, I think I'm giving them more than enough props by calling them the 5th best team of all time. I mean, I really do. So the number 4 ranked team of all time, my opinion, are these guys.
Sixer guard Clint Richardson is the classic role player. He does what he's asked to do. In Game 1, the Sixers needed scoring, and he hit for 10 points in the 3rd quarter and sparked his teammates. Playing in place of the injured Tony, Richardson's second-half defense, rebounding and scoring were key as the Sixers forged a lead. The Lakers. L.A. tightened their trap. Stole the ball. Ran and cut into the Philadelphia lead. Cheeks to the doctor.
Underrated than overrated, and they want to underestimate and underrate.
The 83 76ers, 65-17 record. They were the 5th rated offense, the 5th rated defense. They were the number 1 net rated team. Their division, all 5 teams in that division were over 500. That is tough. You're not going to see too many divisions where every team is over 500. And they had to play those guys 6 times each. So it was no cakewalk in the Atlantic Division in 1983. But Philly took care of business. In the Eastern Conference semifinals, Philly played the Knicks. The Knicks were 44-38. Philly swept them. They were the 9th net rated team. In the Eastern Conference Finals, they played Milwaukee. They were 51-31. They beat them in 5 games. They were the 5th net rated team. Then in the finals, they played the Lakers, who were 58-24. Philly swept them. They were the number 2 net rated team in the NBA. So Philly was not challenged. And this is the defending champs, the Lakers. So this is no slouch. They beat Philly the year before. But when you pick up the MVP on your team, that's going to make you dramatically better. And that's what happened. And they had 4 All-Stars. I believe it was Mo Cheeks, Andrew Toney, Moses Malone, and Dr. J. 3 of those guys were first-team all-defense. Well, it was Bobby Jones, Moses Malone, and Maurice Cheeks were first-team all-defense. This team was strong. Wasn't just a two-man band. I mean, these guys were, it was just a great team. Like, I think the 4th greatest team of all time. Number 3, I have...
That was what my job was all about, getting the ball and playing defense and giving the ball to these guys. So it just kind of all worked out really, really, really well. And as we meshed, we amassed.
Playing off will. The other Lakers were each at the top of their games, and none flourished more than Goodrich and West, combining to score over 52 points per game. They made the Lakers almost impossible to stop.
All of a sudden, this team started winning basketball games, and we went.
Piling up victory after victory, the Lakers became more cohesive with every game. Were invincible as they compiled a modern-day sports record win streak. They would go on to win 69 regular season games, the most. In 1970, they would face the Knicks. But this year, there would be no miracle upsets. The Lakers were also Rands no longer, dispatching New York in 5 games. They would go down in history as one of the NBA's greatest winners.
Goodrich passes under to Wilt. He's got it. He puts it up and slams it.
The 1972 Lakers, a 69-13 record. They were the number 1 rated offense, the number 2 rated defense, the number 1 net rated team. They had the best point differential of all time at plus 12.3 points per game. That's the highest of all time. That's crazy. I mean, that's pretty good domination. It really is. They also had the 33-game win streak, and they are a candidate for the best team ever. No question about it. West semifinals against Chicago. Chicago was no slouch. This is a 57-25 team. And this is why when people talk about, oh, the Lakers had the best run, like, they didn't have the best competition ever. That's not true. You know, yeah, they played a couple tough teams and everything like that, but it was far. The really only legitimate team at winning a title was San Antonio. Nobody else was going to win. They never did. Philly made the finals in an extremely weakened East, sure. But for the Lakers, the semifinals, the Bulls were 57-25. The Lakers swept that team, and they were tough. Very good defensive team. The 3rd net-rated team in the NBA. Then in the Western Conference Finals, they get Milwaukee. Milwaukee was the defending champions. They were 63-19. The Lakers beat them in 6. They were the number 2 net-rated team. So then in the finals, they played the Knicks, who were 48-34, definitely better than the record indicated, but the Lakers beat them in 5 games. They were the 6th net-rated team. So they beat number 2, number 3, and number 6. That's pretty damn good. And the Lakers were number 1. So you can't, beat yourself, obviously. So they had a great season from start to finish with the win differential, with the winning streak, and then, winning the championship to top it off and ending up with one of the 4 best records regular season of all time. Now, somebody might tap into that this year. We'll see. But as it stands, there's no way anybody can deny the Lakers as a top 3 all-time team. No way. And I don't believe you can deny this team as a top 3 team either. The 1986 Boston Celtics, you just saw that crazy team passing they did. These guys were great at passing the ball. They had a 67-15 record. They were the number 3 rated offense, number 1 rated defense, number 1 net rated team. They have the record to this day of 50-1 at home in the regular season and playoffs combined. That means you weren't beating Boston in Boston. It just wasn't going to happen. And with that advantage, they were unbeatable. That team was literally unbeatable. So in the first round, Boston played Chicago. Now, Chicago has a very bad record of 30-52, but Michael Jordan was out basically the whole season. And Boston swept them. They were the 21st net rated team. Obviously, Jordan isn't there to affect the record or the rating. In the East semifinals, they play Atlanta, a 50-32 team. They beat them in 5. They were the 5th net rated team. Not bad for the semifinals. Pretty tough, actually. Then in the Eastern Conference Finals, they get Milwaukee, a 57-25 team. They swept Milwaukee. They were the number 2 net rated team. Then in the finals, they get Houston, who was 51-31. They beat them in 6 games. And I believe they were the 6th net rated team. But either way, that to me can't be disputed. Boston absolutely belongs in the top 3, along with the 72 Lakers. And also this team here. It's going to be pretty hard to crack one of these 3 because what they all did was historic. The Lakers with the win streak, the win differential, one of the 4 greatest regular season records of all time. Boston with the home record. And then you have this team who also is historic.
Jordan a moment ago hits a 3. Jordan with the step. Yes.
Way back into it.
Michael Jordan. Yes. And it counts. Jordan behind the back to beat Gronkowski on the post right at Wingate. What a move.
Oh, the fly pattern to Michael Jordan on the catch, realizing he had a defender there, able in midair to collect himself.
Would score at will on the perimeter.
Perfect basketball. The pass by Dennis Rodman, who's been doing everything here in the third. This has just become a clinic for Chicago at the basket.
The Chicago Bulls have won the 95-96 NBA championship.
Never written this.
The 1996 Chicago Bulls, 72-10 record, which was the best up until the 2016 Golden State Warriors beat it. Okay. They were the number 1 rated offense, the number 1 rated defense, the number 1 net rated team, the trifecta. They were 87-13, 870 winning percentage, which is the greatest of all time regular season and playoffs combined. There's nobody with that kind of winning percentage. That's the greatest. So in the first round, the Bulls pull Miami. Miami is 42-40. Bulls swept them. They're the 13th net rated team. But they were better than the record and the rating indicated because they pulled Tim Hardaway, and they were pretty hot down the stretch. For a 500 team, they were playing some really good ball towards the end of the season there. Eastern Conference semifinals, they get the Knicks. The Knicks are 47-35. The Bulls beat them in 5, which the Bulls had a chance to sweep them, but it didn't work out. The Eastern Conference finals, the Bulls played Orlando. Orlando is 60-22. The Bulls swept them. They were the number 5 net rated team. If Shaq would have been there the whole year, he missed a big chunk too. And I think that they would have had a higher rating, better record and all that. But as it stands, they were the number 5 net rated team. In the finals, the Bulls got Seattle, a really, really tough team. And they were 64-18, which is an excellent record. The Bulls beat them in 6, and Seattle was the number 2 net rated team. I feel like there really isn't a whole lot of room for negotiation here, but I don't expect everybody to agree with me. In fact, I would be surprised if anybody agreed with every one of my ratings here. I get it. You're going to have, whatever the reason, biases, or, you just like the team better, or you just think they're better, whatever, it doesn't matter. Nobody's going to have the exact same rankings on any of this stuff. I know that. But I feel like I can back these up because the 96 Bulls had a historic season. They had the highest winning percentage of all time. Means they were the best team. Playoffs, regular season combined, they were the best team of all time. Nobody has ever won 87% of their games combining regular season and playoffs. It's never happened. Boston at number 2 because of the home record mostly, but they really were an unbelievably great team. 72 Lakers, the winning streak, the win differential, pretty hard to keep them out. The 83 76ers, if they would have beat Boston in the conference finals, I think it would have carried a little more weight, but Boston got beat. What can you do? But still, the 83 76ers swept the Lakers in the finals. That was incredible. When they were defending a title, that was incredible. No doubt about it. When they got Moses, they were the first bona fide super team, really. I mean, some people say the 72 Lakers, but that was done years after. They got Gail Goodridge, whatever. But I think the first actual real super team was the 83 76ers. They were just ridiculous. You got a Hall of Famer, first team all-defense player coming off the bench. That's pretty nice. Number 5, the 2001 Lakers, and I would have had them higher. If the Lakers would have had a better record in the regular season, now they were pretty hot at the end of the season. I think they won their final 8 games. So they won like 20 games in a row going into the finals. They were red hot, no doubt. But I just think if they could have got their rating a little better and they would have had a little better record, I'd feel more comfortable moving them up. But I think they were just incredibly hot, playing their very best basketball during the playoffs. That's just the way I see it. Now, some people may not agree. That's fine. Like I said, this stuff is all subjective. You're not going to hurt my feelings. But I know a lot of people have the Lakers, like Skabatak's trying to make a case they're the best team ever. And I'm like, no, they're not. They're up there, though. No doubt. They are definitely up there. But I don't think they're the best team ever. And there are teams that I believe would beat them in a 7-game series. I think the 4 in front of them would have beat them. Even though they say, oh, what are you going to do about Shaq? Well, maybe so. But what are you going to do about all these other teams that got so much firepower? You think that, Kobe could guard Jerry West and Shaq could guard Wilt. Your problems ain't done there. Happy Hairston would run people off the boards. Jim McMillan is getting you close to 20 points a game, and Gail Goodrich is getting you 25 points a game. They were a squad, and the Boston's front court would have handled Shaq. They didn't really have much of an answer for Kobe, but who's going to guard Larry Bird? There's nobody. So it runs both ways, and then winning in the Boston Garden was basically not going to happen no matter who you were in 1986. And then, of course, the Bulls, their defense was just so strong. You never know. Obviously, this stuff is just fantasy land. You can't prove any of it. But I feel pretty strong about my top 5. And, let me know what you guys think in the comments. That's going to be all I got for this video. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked it, please hit the like button. If you wouldn't mind sharing it, that would be excellent. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. I've been giving daily content. And that's it. Until next time.